Good morning, children. I'm Nilantha Jayapuri, in-service advisor. Chill out. Today, this live program is conducted by the English Unit, Zonal Education Office. Chill out. We believe these live sessions will help you, especially the students who are at home during this COVID pandemic. Well, with that, I'm going to start off the lesson. Today, my lesson is reporter speech. Dear students, let me share the screen. Now look at your screen. Well, I believe you can see the screen now. Well, we'll start with the warmer. It's a small warmer. Read the given words. There are 5 sets of words. You have to select the odd word given in each sentence or each line. Right. I will give you 2 or 3 minutes to pick up the odd word. Yes, students, I believe you have already done this. Okay, we'll discuss the answers. First one, now, then, today, that day, decorate. Yes, the odd one is decorate since it is a verb. Number 2, let me read the words. Coat, send, soul, swam, told. The odd word is send, since the other words are in their past tense, except send. Send is in the present form. Third set, they, you, our, hard, him. Except hard, hard is the answer since it's an adjective or an adverb. The others are pronouns. Next, number 4, will, would, come, could, can. The answer is odd one is come. The others are helping verbs or modal auxiliaries, whereas come is a lexical verb. Next, running, done, swimming, writing, and studying. The odd word is dance because it's a past participle form of the verb. The rest are present participle, in the present participle. Let me show you the answers too. Look at your answers. See whether your answers are okay. Right. Now we are moving on to our lesson. Reported speech. Reported speech means you report something said by someone else to somebody else. Look at the first slide. We call reported speech direct and indirect speech. Direct speech, like I like Peter, then you report it. It is indirect speech. She told, she liked you. We are going to look at what are the changes actually happening or happen. What are the changes we can do or happen when we turn direct speech into indirect speech. Okay, dear students, let's go to the next slide. Well, when reporting, I believe when reporting means when you report something said by someone else to somebody else. When reporting, the following changes can occur in the reported statements. You have a reported statement, when you report, what will happen actually? First change is a back shift in the tense. Actually, what happens here is if the tense will change into its corresponding tense. For example, if you have am, it will become was in the reported statement. I am hungry. So Sita said that she was hungry, like am becomes was. Simply, present tense becomes past, or any other tense will go back to or would go back to its corresponding past. Number two, look at the change. A change in pronoun. Usually, when you report, what will happen? Actually, there is a change in pronoun as well. We will look actually at these examples in detail in our other slides as well. Number three, a change in time and place of expressions. Actually, what happens here is in the direct speech, if you have now, it becomes then in the indirect statement. අපි report කරද්දී යම් කිසි කෙනෙක් කියපු දෙයක් ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් වෙනස්කම් තුනක් සිදු වෙනවා. පළවෙනි එක report speech එකට යන වාක්‍ය direct statement එකේ තියෙන ක්‍රියාපදය indirect වෙද්දී නැත්නම් ඍජු කථනයේ තියෙන වාක්‍ය වක්‍ර කථනයේදී direct statement අපි කියන්නේ indirect වෙද්දී ක්‍රියාපදය අතීත කාලයට යවන්න ඕන. ඒ වගේම අපි සුදුසු පරිදි pronoun එක වෙනස් කරනවා. ඒ වගේම කාලය හඟවන පද, ස්ථානය හඟවන පදත් වෙනස් වෙනවා. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, dear students, look, I have given you 3 examples so that this will be clear to you. Okay, look at the direct statement, direct speech. Anne said, the hotel is near Broadway. So look at the highlighted word in bold. Look at the word in bold. That is. That is the present tense verb. What happens when you change that into indirect statement? And said that. You add that to connect these two statements, two sentences rather. That the hotel was near Broadway. Look at the change. Is become was, as I told you as I told you earlier. Changes in the tense. Present tense becomes past tense. Look at the second example. Would you please read it with me? My friend said, you will have a wonderful view. Look at the change when you report. My friend said that comes, then you become we. Once again, you see the pronoun change. Change in the pronoun. You becomes we and will becomes would. My friend said that we would have a wonderful view. Third example, the manager said, this is a direct statement. We redecorated the rooms. Then when we report, that is indirect statement. The manager said that they had redecorated the room. What? Look at the change. We becomes they and redecorated, which is in the past tense, becomes a past participle or past perfect rather. Past perfect, it becomes past perfect. Past tense becomes past perfect. Even you can retain the same tense. මෙතනදී විශේෂ දෙයක් කියන්න තියෙනවා. Redecorated කියන්නේ past tense එකක්. අපිට පුළුවන් past perfect වලින් ලියන්න. ඒ වගේම ඕනනම් ඔය tense එකෙන්ම තියන්න පුළුවන්. So I hope now it's clear to you that how when you change direct statement into indirect, basically what are the changes actually happen in the indirect statement. So let me take you to the next slide, students. Okay, look at, you have a small activity just to say, check actually whether what I have told you so far, whether you have understood what I have told you so far. Students, I will give you maybe a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, I would say, to complete this activity. See, basically you have to fill in the changes happening in the or happen in the tense. So would you please fill in the blanks? Well, dear students, can we discuss the answers? I believe by now you must have finished the activity. Let me discuss it with you. You can read the sentences and tell me the answers as well. We'll look at the answers. Okay, first one. She said, I don't like New Year. Look at the verb don't like. What happens to don't like? She said that. Look at the change in the pronoun as well. I becomes she. And don't like has become didn't like. Look at the change. The pronoun as well as the verb. Then we'll move on to the next one. He said, I'm studying in the Hilton. Sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm staying at the Hilton. He said that he was staying in the Hilton. Look at the change of the pronouns. I has become he and I am staying. That is in the present continuous. Has become past continuous. Not the change, dear students. Then it's easy for you. I told you earlier, usually when you change direct statement into indirect statement, the tense goes to the corresponding past tense. Right. Shall we look at the third one? They said, you will have a wonderful time. They said that you becomes I, would have a wonderful time. Will, as I told you earlier, becomes would. It's very clear to you. She said, I'm going to buy some jeans. Look at the report statement or report speech. She said that she was going to buy some jeans. So what happens here is, once again, present continuous becomes past continuous. Am going, was going. See the change and try to understand it. He said to me, I've been to Candy twice. I've been. That is in the present perfect. So look at the change. He told me that he had been. Had been is the past perfect. Present perfect becomes past perfect. Right. Next one. This is the last one in this activity. I said I saw an English movie. She said she saw an English movie. She said that look at the verb which is in the past tense, so. I hope you can see that, so, and that usually becomes past perfect, had seen. Even I told you earlier, even you can retain the same verb like so can be kept there or can be retained there. Even you, this answer is also correct. She saw an English movie is also correct. Now let me start a slideshow too. Just a minute. Well, now you can see the slides of this, the rest of the lesson. Okay, now look at your answers once again. You can see the answers. Look at the answers. We are moving on to the next slide, which is once again an activity. Students, you can fill in this table. Look, when now complete the rules for the tense change. As I told you, when you change a direct speech sentence into report speech, certain changes in the tense happens. I told you, I have taught you earlier, I have explained them. So please take some time and fill in this table. I'll give you, say, 3 minutes for this one. 3 minutes. Is it clear to you? You will have to fill in this, the basic rules, of course. And I want to make sure that you have learned what you have told you earlier. Well, dear students, I believe you have completed the activity by now. Right, let's discuss. Let's see the answers actually. Look at present simple. As I told you, what happens to present simple? Usually it becomes past simple. Direct statement එකක තියෙන present simple verb එක past simple වෙනවා. Look at the next change. Present continuous usually becomes past continuous. Then will plus infinitive. Will plus infinitive. What happens to it? Actually, would plus infinitive. It's very easy, but you will remember these basic rules. Then reporting is very simple for you. Look at the next one. Is are going. Once again, that is in the present continuous, but I have given you the verb form as well, or the structure. Is are going to becomes was were going to. Present continuous, once again past continuous. Let's see what happens to present perfect tense. Can you remember? It becomes past perfect. Look at the last one. Last one. Past simple. What happens to past simple? Past perfect or past simple. එහෙනම් ළමයිනේ මේ තියෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? direct statement එකක් reporter speech එකට හරවද්දි change කරද්දි ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් tenses වල සිදුවෙන වෙනස්කම්. ප්‍රධාන වෙනස්කම් ටික පමණක් මම ඔයගලන්ට මේ table එකේ දීලා තියෙනවා. You have to remember this because this is very important for you. With this, let me explain the next rule as well. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Look at this. As I told you earlier, when you talk about what somebody said, certain time expressions, කාලය හඟවන පද, ඒ වගේම place expressions, මොකද වෙන්නේ? වෙනස් වෙනවා. Now you have to fill in the tables. I have given you a box which contains certain phrases and words which will help you to fill in this grid or a table. Please do this. I hope so far what I have told you is clear to you. Then this might help you to complete our lesson or get a complete sense of this lesson. Well, students, I believe you are doing this activity now. Get the help of the words just below your table. Dear students, shall we complete the table? Well, good. Let's look at the first answer. Today, what happens today when you have today? what happens to it? It becomes that day. Today becomes that day in the report statement. ඍජු කතනේ තියෙන today වක්‍ර කතනයට යද්දී. ඒ කියන්නේ direct statement එකක තියෙන today indirect වෙද්දී that day වෙනවා. Likewise, the following changes actually happen in the report statements. We'll see. Tomorrow, what happens to tomorrow? There are two obvious answers are there. The next day, the following day. You have to remember them very carefully. Look at the next one, students. Next week, the following week, the following week, last week. What happens to last week? The week before, the previous week. Let's look at this. Look at this. This become that. Look at here. That is a place expression. What happens? It becomes there. Then now. Now becomes then. Yesterday. What happens? The day before, the previous day. You will have to remember these words very carefully. This is very important when you change a direct statement into indirect statement. Very important. Therefore, you need to remember them. So, as well as the tense change, this is also really important. Remember the other change. I believe you can remember the other change. That is pronoun change. So there are basically three changes happen when you report something. First one is the tense change or back shift of the change tense. Second one, the pronoun. Third one, time expressions as well as place expressions. Look at the table. I have given you everything. Let's move on to the next slide, dear students. This is the last activity to check whether you have understood my lesson. Please do this. I'll give you maybe 5 minutes to do this. After 5 minutes, we'll discuss this. Please do write the answers. Okay, students, I believe you must have finished by now. Well, we'll check the answers. This is your last activity on reporter speech. Actually, always in your O-level paper, reported speech might be one of the questions in your second paper. So therefore, you need to pay more attention on this and just learn it very carefully. And you need to know how to change a direct statement into indirect statement. That's why I have included this lesson in our session. Okay, let me discuss the first one. The plane takes off at 14:30. Look at the verb there. That is in the present simple. Takes off. Then let's look at the answer. That is in the present simple. What happens actually? Look at the answer. The plane took off. Takes off. Took off. Present simple. Verb past simple. Very simple. Remember this. Look at the next one. We won't be able to, will not be able to pay until next week. Future simple. Then what happens to future simple verb? Look at this. Look at the we becomes they. We කියන pronoun එකට මොකද උනේ? It becomes they. And want becomes wouldn't. That is the rule I taught you earlier. Then let's look at the next one. Number 3. She left the hotel at 10:20. Past simple verb. The receptionist said that. Let's look at the answer, students. I hope you understand this. She had left. As I told you earlier, past simple goes to past perfect tense. Even you, as I told you, you can retain the same verb. Past tense can be used instead of past perfect as well. Then this can be another answer. She left the hotel at 10:20. Also a correct answer. Let's look at the next one, dear students. Taking my holidays in August. Netu said that. Netu කියනවා. Netu නිසා she බලන්න pronoun එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. She was taking her holidays in August. Look at the change. I becomes she and am taking has become was taking present continuous past continuous. Right. Shall we move on to the next one? Look at that. I have never seen anything like it. That is the statement or a sentence in the direct speech. Look at it is within the inverted commas as well. He said that what happens to I? He. Then have never seen, that is have seen is in the present perfect. Had seen, that is past perfect. Anything like it. Then you can't take photos here. Somebody might say like this. Then how can you report it? The guy told them. Instead said වෙනුවට අපිට ඕනම් පුළුවන් told කියලා කියන්න. Told them. You වෙනුවට අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන් then them. That. What is the answer? Let's see. They could not take photos here. Can becomes could. Can becomes could. You becomes they. Next one. The lift doesn't go to the top floor. One would say the lift doesn't go to the top floor. So how you are going to report this? The report karane. The receptionist said that. Let's look at receptionist words. Receptionist report karane kohomda kiyala. The receptionist said that doesn't go කියලා තියෙන එක. What happens? Didn't go to the top floor. That is present simple, past simple. Let's look at the last one, dear students. You should get to the airport early. Look at the answer. The travel agent told them that you becomes they. You වලට මොකද වෙන්නේ? they වෙනවා. Should do not change. Should කියන ක්‍රියාපදේ වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. බලන්න. Should get to the airport. So before wrapping up my session, I would like to give you a small summary on what you have done so far. Today I discussed report speech. Report speech means, you report what somebody says to somebody else. So if you report something, that is if you report something, that is report speech. Well, when you report something or when you change direct statement into indirect statement, basically 3 changes happen. First one, you change the tense. Second one, you change the pronoun. Third one, you change the place and time expressions. Okay, dear students, I hope you understand, or it's clear to you all actually. So let me wind up this session. We'll be meeting again in another session. So until then, goodbye to you all. Take care. Do your studies well.